We're in Food Service Power Plant Network. Yo, friends, it's Monday night. And what a Monday night. I feel like there's so much going on right now for us to encourage you in, ways to connect with you. We have an amazing guest tonight. Marlon Gordon of the NxtGen Network is joining us. I thought, he and I became friends through COVID. And I told him before we came on, I'm like, Marlon, you're living it, man. You're charged. You're alive. This is a guy with just incredible adventure, creativity, entrepreneurialism. He loves food service and particularly the K-12 community. So Marlon's going to join us. We're going to hear his story, learn what he's doing. Before I bring him in, a couple of things. First, I'm growing the beard for Movember. Men, make sure you're taking care of you. Whatever your health, is there an element of your health that you need to focus on this month? Maybe it's your physical health. Maybe it's your mental health. Maybe it's emotional health. I don't know what you need, but this beard I'm growing for you to remind you. So in the month of Movember 2, tomorrow's election day. However you vote, get your vote in. I think it matters. It's important to me. As a former history teacher of 12 years, I used to teach government. Go vote. Let me encourage you to do that. Next, a couple of thank yous. The Zumba team, FNS Magazine, RD&D, who believe in this mission and support our cause. Thank you to Maureen and Dave and the entire crew. Joe, everyone over there, we are so grateful for you. The team at Crave, who built our amazing website. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, www.fspowerplant.com. That's Frank Sam, powerplant.com. Every one of these conversations, about 90 of them are found there. And a bunch of resources for if you need some coaching, if you need some counseling, if you need some mental health support, any addiction stuff, all of that's there. I'm so glad to see you. Look who's in the house. Zena Dater is in the house. Of course you are, Zena. I hope Boston was wonderful at the Pride Conference. We were thinking of you all and loved those lives. Jason, I think that's my man, Jason Hartman. Yo, brother. Welcome. I'm so stoked you're here. I am going to actually just check my phone, not because I'm like texting my buddies in the middle of this conversation, just so I can see who's live, so I can see your names, and this will be great. We're going to come find you. There we go. Oh, Sandy Van Buren is in the house from Florida. Hi, Sandy. Marlon's from Florida. You guys might live near each other. I don't know, but I guess the state's pretty big, but it's good to see you. Hey, let's go get the man. Look, who's this? Someone else is saying, awesome. This is another Facebook user. I haven't seen it yet. This is great. Yeah, Jason Hartman's in the house. Love it. Let's go find him. Marlon!
What's up?
Yo, brother, going? How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me here.
Man, this to me is so, Marlon, you froze a lot for a minute. Now you're back. It froze for a second, but you're back. Look at this. Look at all these people who came to see you. Z, the cook, is in the house. Looking forward to tonight's session. Heck yes. Z, fist bump. Boom. Taz Sutherland. Oh, what's up, Taz? You the man. Anisha.
He's rocking a beard. Gosh, we got to grow a beard like Taz. You see that?
Taz has like an awesome beard, like ZZ Top level beard.
I can't do that.
I don't think I could either. I don't think my family could handle it either. Anisha Owens is in the house. Hi, Anisha. Greg Kettner's in the house. Yo, brother. Man, this is so fun. So many amazing people. Listen, Marlon, like I said at the beginning, you're someone, when I look at you, we met in person at NRA, but even before we had met, you're someone who lives in a way that I would say is charged. It's you've got just an energy about you, an essence about you that's contagious, that's alive, that makes me, there are people I meet along the way in my journey who I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever they've got, I want a little bit of that. And you're living it. And I know there's reasons for that. Like there's things you're doing, so many things. So you are the founder of the NxtGen Network. So here's what I want you to do fairly briefly. Give us a little bit of your career journey. How did you start? Well, what is the NxtGen Network? Number one. And then what was sort of the progression in your career journey to going out on your own and starting this thing?
Well, let me start with where I began, actually. So As you mentioned earlier, I'm passionate about food service, right? And I didn't realize I was passionate about food service. School food service in particular was until I took my first real job working at Pasco County, Florida as an IT program manager for child nutrition. So Pasco was unlike a lot of other districts out there. It was a fairly large district. We had roughly like 75 schools or so when I was there, with another 20 charters we took care of. But they had their own food service department or IT department, right? So it was myself and 3 other guys, and we oversaw everything IT related for child nutrition, whether it was servers, whether it was help desk stuff, digital signage, whatever it was, right? So that's how I first got into food service. And I tell you what, it was my first time walking into the kitchen of my old high school in the district that I worked at, where I realized that child nutrition is a business. I grew up thinking it was, it was like a nonprofit, right? They're just feeding kids. That's all it is. But I didn't understand until that moment. My director, Julie Dean, told me, she was like, this is a business and this is how we operate. This is what we do. And I was like, wow, this blew my mind, right? So I spent 4 years working as an operator in a school district. And then I took a job with a company where I sold software to school districts. Okay. And during that time where I was very successful, it was a great opportunity. I love the people I worked with. I quickly realized that I could be doing more elsewhere. And I'm kind of someone that I don't like to be told no. If I think the answer should be yes, I like to try and find a way to make it yes. And working for big corporations, a lot of times the answer is no, and you have to just roll with that. But that's not my style. So I went out on my own, and literally 2 months later, after I left this corporate position, the pandemic hit. And yeah, and at the time I was doing more IT consulting work. I was doing social media, and one thing I loved to do too was place speakers in positions to do keynotes and trainings, those sorts of things. Because something that I learned very early on is that I am not an expert on a whole bunch of different things. Like, I'm not a genius. There's lots of people out there that are way smarter than me. So instead of me pretending to be smart and go speaking on these topics that I know nothing about, I was like, let me surround myself with people that can speak on these topics, and I'll place them in these positions, right? On top of that, they make great references. So that's what I did. And one of those speakers was Amanda Venenzio. So Amanda and I, that was our first time ever collaborating, was at a state conference. She did the keynote there in a 3-hour-long workshop. It was crazy. So when the pandemic hit and everything shut down, based on our experience working together, she called me with an idea that she had. And that idea was First Taste TV. So now we're looking at, it's probably around like March when this all started to come together. And she called me with the idea. She was like, you're the only person I know crazy enough to try this with me, right? And I was like, well, what is it? And she was like, it's a TV show. And I was like, a TV show? I've never done that, but it sounds like fun. So what are you thinking? So her idea was to take almost like Home Shopping Network or QVC, and then Food Network, and then marry them together and gear it towards child nutrition. So manufacturers, exhibitors, advertisers, those people could get in front of their potential customers in a innovative fashion, since they couldn't do it in person at trade shows. So we did that. We started planning that, I think, in like March, and we filmed the first 15 episodes in June or July. So we threw it together pretty quick. And then that just got me going. And I didn't know I was an entrepreneur until the success of First Taste TV. And I was like, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? And we went from First Taste TV, and then we jumped into From the Show Floor. And then we got into Served, which is our digital publication. Then we started doing stuff for hotels and restaurants, and that was Indulge. And then we had Next Up, which was our talk show. And I mean, the list just kind of keeps going on and on. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of grown and evolved into, well, we started off as a production company, but then we started doing advertising because we now have a publication. And that all came to be because I used to work in the school district, and I understood from my experience that a lot of people don't look at the ads in the print magazines. So I was like, got to find a way to make this better. And from my time working on industry, I remembered how it's all about the return on the investment, right? So I'm a huge nerd. And in Harry Potter, all the pictures come to life in the newspapers, or like videos. So I was like, let's come out with a digital publication that we can use to get all of our content out, but also offer a return on investment for advertisers, track links, have all the analytics you could dream for, and then make it engaging for the readers. And that was Served, right? So now we're doing advertising, and then we grew into almost like a legit marketing agency now. And now we can provide marketing strategy. We do branding, messaging, all that stuff. So we do marketing, advertising, and production.
Oh my gosh. So there's so many places we could go from here. I mean, first of all, kudos Amanda for an idea, right? And calling you and being like, you're the one. Let's do this. And I love that you chose to. Last 2 weeks ago, I interviewed Mark Freeman of LinkedIn, and he talked about his time at Microsoft and at LinkedIn and how he would just try something and that would lead to something else. And like, I'm looking behind your head, and there's the NxtGen Network in the middle, and then there's all these different things out there around it, spokes on a wheel that you're describing. That none of those were necessarily in your plan originally. It's just you opened a door and started walking through it, and then there was another opportunity, and then there was another need, and then another need, and now you've got all these different companies.
Yeah, well, so that right there was actually created for me to help me explain what NxtGen Network was. So whenever we first launched, we came out with First Taste TV, and that's what everybody knew us as. But there was so much more to First Taste TV like 4 months later, right? So we almost went through like a branding crisis. And then I realized that we're a house of brands, similar to like a Hilton. Like Hilton has Embassy Suites, I have Hampton Inn, I have Homewood Suites, all that. Well, all those brands behind me are really just services that we offer. And they were services that we came up with to support industry members based on their needs or their budgets and those sorts of things. So what I did was I reached out to my friends over at AmTab, and they made the giant NxtGen one in the middle, and then all the small circles around it that represent all the different brands that or services that we offer. And there's still some up there that I'm still waiting to get shipped. I got Ignite that I need to add to there, which is our big event that we throw annually. And then we have NxtGen Professionals, which you are a part of also. So that's the mentorship group that we're getting ready to launch with Shannon Solomon. And there's some other cool things we have coming out that I haven't even mentioned yet. But yeah, we're a house of brands all under the NxtGen Network name.
Marlon, I mean, we've got other questions, but I've got to just throw one in here. Like, amidst all of this, how do you do it all? There's so many different fun ideas there. How do you juggle them and cultivate them and keep them all? I mean, how do you find the energy to do it? Because you're a husband, you're a father. I think you've got 3 beautiful children, if I'm correct.
3 kids, yeah.
For anyone asking, we all feel busy right now in life. We're all saying to ourselves, how do we do it? How do we give everyone or every entity in our lives, our kids, our significant other, our work, our colleagues, our customers? How do you do it? Where does it come from?
Well, I have to admit, my secret weapon is my wife. My wife is awesome. She's incredibly supportive. When I said I wanted to quit my job and start my own company, she had my back. When I travel, because I travel all the time, she's holding down the fort at home and the kids and the puppy that I probably shouldn't have gotten a couple months ago. So it all starts with her. But other than her, it's my team. Man, like I would not be here if it weren't for my team. I am not a details person at all, because I'm always like, I live in the future so people can thrive in the present, right? So I get all these crazy forward-thinking ideas, and I just bring them to my team. And a lot of the time, they take my ideas and they make them better. Or we brainstorm, we make them better together. So really, it's my wife and the team. That's it. And God, number one.
All just beautiful answers. I see a lot of hearts coming up on the screen on my Facebook thing on my phone. That's kudos to your wife. I love the unity you both share in fulfilling this mission of who you are and who you all are and what you're bringing to the world and your team. Kudos. That's pretty amazing. Thanks for sharing.
I also kind of feel like I have an unfair advantage sometimes, because it's I love the work and I love the grind and I love being tenacious and I love people. Like, people motivate me. It's like I feed off of them and they feed off of me, and it doesn't feel like work to me. Like it's truly fun. Like I tell Amanda all the time, I'm like, I'm just still playing. Like I don't feel like I'm working yet. I'm just having fun. And I think that definitely helps when you're doing something that you're truly passionate about.
It's I think it is hard to. There was a quote I read from John Gordon, one of my favorites. It says, we don't get burnt out because of what we do. We get burnt out because we forget why we do it. And if you don't have a big why, if you don't love what you're doing, it's really easy to get burnt out in the last 2.5 years. Everyone bobbing and weaving, needing to create new things, new ways to survive, new ways to add value, etc. Look at this. There's all of these. Oh, this is our friend Shannon. Solomon's in the house. When we surround ourselves with excellence, you're right, Shannon, you're right. Excellent things happen. Strength of the Holy Spirit. There you go. Who's this? This is Shannon again. Behind a great man is always an incredible woman. Go, Ashley. There we go. Love it. Love it. That is for sure. You know, when you love what you do, that became my goal along the way. It was, I was talking to Shannon, my wife Shannon, about this last night. We were talking, oh, Ashley's on. How awesome is Ashley? Your wife is on right now, which is amazing. Hi, Ashley. This is awesome. I was talking to my wife, you know, at some point I had taught history for 8 years. And I remember saying to her, we're having dinner 8 years in. I'm like, all right, I got 22 years left until the pension. And teaching was a great career. And it's foundational in what I do today in terms of sales and service and teaching through the power plant stuff. And I have, you know, but I needed to get outside of the classroom. I needed to go, you know, travel and fly and meet with people. And I just didn't love it anymore. So I think you have to love it. So I love that you pursued something you loved. And I would say to anybody watching who feels in that boat, Marlon and I can't be the first two people ever to have said, you know what we're doing now, maybe it's time for it to end and to start something new, and to get creative and try new things on. Just know that you're capable of that. And we give you that freedom. Boom. If you need, in case you needed it, boom, you got our encouragement. Amen. Gifted teacher and a light, Shannon. We love you, Shannon. I love it. Okay, Marlon, for all this, there's got to be some to manage it all. In addition to loving relationships and people and the work you do, you've got an amazing team. There have to be disciplines in your life that help you maintain energy, maintain a sense of focus, a sense of, you know, grind and moving forward. Any disciplines in your life that you practice, you know, regularly?
Yeah. So some small and larger ones too. So the first thing I like to do is I have a really difficult time disconnecting from people, right? So like when it comes to like social media, my email, text, Slack for work, like the first thing I want to do when I wake up is check all those things, right? Yeah. But because of my religious preferences, I'm a Christian, I'm very intentional about the first thing that I do being reading my Bible verse of the day. And that's how I start my day. I'm probably going to forget the verse, but that's how I start my day, right? I'm intentional about that. But other than that, as far as keeping energy up, I got to go to the gym. If I don't go to the gym, if I don't work out 6 days a week like I like to, I get grumpy. Really grumpy. It's almost like being hangry. And I'm someone that rarely feels stressed. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, nothing bothers me at all. But if I go 3 days without going to the gym, I don't get my endorphins, little things start eating at me. Yeah. So that's what I do. And like, even when I'm traveling on the road, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I have to get in my gym time, and it keeps my energy up. Try and eat healthy for as best as I can, but that's kind of difficult when you work in food service and you're eating all day long. Sure. But that's really about it, man. It's just gym. I've been trying to sleep more. I sleep more. And also finding a balance. So I also used to struggle with, I'm an entrepreneur, right? Like, I'm trying to grind and hustle. And I used to, even though I didn't feel overworked because I was having fun, because I love my job, it was having a negative effect on the family because I'm giving all of myself over here instead of over here where I should have been giving myself. And so I had to find that balance. I'm being more disciplined about my time also.
Good for you. I love a couple things. Who's this? It's a blessing. It's a blessing when you get to do what you love for work. I would 100% agree. This is our friend Claudia. Hi, Claudia. Claudia Cabrera. Hey, Claudia. Oh yeah, you know Claudia too, probably. Claudia. Awesome. Yeah. Amen. Thanks for being trailblazers. You both are. Claudia, you are a light in our both. I mean, I've known Claudia, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Right back at you, my friend. Here's my first thing I would say. I'm being honest about that part of your experience, because it's easy to leave out the hard stuff. And this is part of the next question in terms of a startup. What is, for anyone thinking about doing their own deal, they work for someone, they're like, I want to start something. That you've got a dream, you've got a vision, whatever it is. There's so much wonderful energy there. I think it's Paulo Coelho that says it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. And there's so many people that have these dreams that you want to make come true. And there's energy there. And there's also challenge in doing new things and startups and the amount of work. And Marlon just spoke to one of them. So let me start by saying thanks. It's easy to put other things that really do matter to us, our families, our significant others, our communities. I'm looking out my window. I've got a lot of friends that live outside. It's easy to put all that aside to just go build this dream. But obviously that's counterproductive when you're stepping away or not giving as much energy to the people you love.
Yeah, I kind of fell into a trap where I always, like, my mindset was, I'm doing this for them, right? I'm doing this for the family. So it's okay to designate all my energy over to work. And then I realized, no, I'm thinking about this backwards. Like, I may be doing it for them, but I have to be there for them right now, Yeah.
Awesome words. That's a great, you know what? I found myself saying that at one point. When I was in the grind, ultimately, when I had to leave our rep firm, we were growing and building and grinding, and we had a lot of health stuff at home, and I wasn't as present. And Shannon and I had to have a conversation that she said, listen, you're not here the way we need you to be here. What is it? When do we come first? And that's when I realized I had to make a change. I had to do something new for the sake of putting those. I could no longer say after a decade, I'm doing this for you, if I wasn't as engaged as they needed me to be. So thanks for being honest about that. Balance of family and work is so important. In addition to that, Marlon, what's, for someone who wants to do a startup, give us a little insight of, like, what's it like creating a startup? Like, was what you experienced what you thought you were going to?
What's it like starting or launching a startup? Well, it's challenging for sure. Get ready to give almost every aspect of your life away in order for it to be successful. That's what you really want. Most startups fail, and the ones that make it through are the people that just put it all on the line. And I mean, for me personally, I was blessed enough to have a wife that was willing to put it on the line with me. But there's just so much work that goes into it, especially for me. Like, I didn't finish college, right? I got an AA. That's it. I have enough credit hours for a bachelor's, but I bounced around so much back in the day. I didn't get my bachelor's, and I wasn't trained or educated in business. Like, I've been almost figuring it out as I went, like a lot of people in startups do. So you have to be willing to be agile, make quick decisions. And you know what the biggest thing is for me? Probably taking counsel from others, listening to your friends, finding mentors to support you, and making educated decisions based on the feedback of the people from your inner circle. Because if I didn't keep a tight inner circle and have people I could reach out to, like you, like Shannon, like Lincoln Yee, Scott Rotondo, like those type of people, I wouldn't be here right now. So it's all about being able to listen to others and take counsel and not be prideful or not be arrogant. Like, you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to be wrong. But you can learn from these decisions and move forward and make yourself better, your company better, people that work for you better.
Here's a question for you, Marlon. These people that you talk about, I'm a huge believer too, and you become the people you surround yourself with. Our friend Marty Monet is here. Hey, Marty, one of those in our industry and my world. Marty and I got to share dinner about 6 months ago. Someone I bounce ideas off of, etc. Let me ask you this. Are these people that just show up in your world? Or do you ever take the initiative to say, hey, you're someone I need to get to know, or I've got questions? Because I think for a lot of people, it's hard to do that. They think, I don't want to be a burden. People are busy. I should figure it out on my own. And they don't take that initiative to call someone and say, hey, I can I pick your brain on something? Can I learn from you? Whatever it is. What's your experience been?
So I used to be somebody who was afraid to talk to other people, right? I tell people all the time, I used to be introverted. I still think I'm more of like an extroverted introvert, but I used to be terrified of public speaking, talking to people, those sorts of things. And it was my very first conference in Virginia working for MealViewer. And like, I'm new to sales. Like, I was an IT kid sitting in a corner working on a computer for the past few years. And I'm there with Glenda Wofford. She was the owner of the company's mother, who was a sales rep in the Southeast region, right? So we're at this conference, and there's a table full of directors sitting there at the banquet. And she was like, "Hey, Marlon, you should go talk to those directors and introduce yourself." And like, there was just nothing but like dread and fear like spewing from me because I didn't like talking to people, right? Or I was nervous, like I wasn't confident. I didn't want to go and do it. And as soon as I got to the table, I sit down, I start talking. I'm like, "Oh, this isn't that bad. Like, this is fine. I could do this, right? No big deal." So she saw something in me that I didn't see myself.
Yeah.
And as far as reaching out to mentors, yes, I did that. The very first time was Reginald Ross. He's past president of SNA. Him and I had been friends before his presidency. And we used to always see each other at trade shows, right? And we both used to always wear bow ties. So it was like instant rapport right away. We'd always connect, say hi, whatever. Like nothing like major at the time, but he knew who I was. I knew who he was. So one day when I realized the importance of mentors, he was the very first person I called. And I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a mentor. Here's why. Are you interested?" And he said, "Yes, absolutely." And then from that point on, I just started racking them all up. Like anybody I could bring into my inner circle, I was like, "Come on, let's be family."
Love it. Marlon, good for you, man. Look at this. B. O'Rourke is in the house. Brian, 100% on point. Love it. Kayla, welcome. Totally agree with that. Surround yourself with mentors.
And Kayla is actually one of my lateral mentors. Big shout out to Deeply Rooted. She's doing some amazing things. Yeah, she's definitely somebody. She's like, I was like, "Hey, we're going to be friends." And we've been friends ever since. And it's been a mutually beneficial professional and personal relationship. She's a close friend now.
Amazing. Awesome. Kayla, I hope I get to meet you someday. This is our buddy, Jason Hartman. Introverts unite. Man, I feel that. Jason also asked this question, something you wish you knew before going out on your own with your first venture. You kind of answered that in terms of finding mentors, etc. Great question. Look at this.
Something else I learned too.
Go, please.
Not to expect everybody to be on your side if you have an idea that you think is amazing, because your amazing idea may be disruptive in your industry, and there are people that it's going to make upset. So that is something that I did learn becoming an entrepreneur.
Got it. You know, I hadn't thought about that. Is that something that's hard for you when people recognize that you're going to create some disruption and they don't necessarily support it? Or are you kind of like, "Listen, here's the vision, man. I'm going. If you're uncomfortable with it, I'm sorry."
So I need to answer this carefully. Okay. It doesn't bother me. It honestly, it motivates me. So there have been situations where I've come across certain people or organizations that try and get in my way to prevent me from innovating or doing what I'm doing. But really, I'm like, I love a fight. I love fighting for things I believe in. I love fighting for people. I love fighting for change and innovation and those sorts of things. So when someone tries to get in my way, that just means I'm on the right path, and I use it as fuel. So I don't get emotional about it. I don't let it bother me or slow me down or anger me. I use it for fuel. I turn a negative into a positive.
Man, are you a food service power plant or what, Marlon? Talking about reframing a situation right there. I love it. Being disruptive is okay. Accurate right there. Z the cook. Entrepreneurship is such an extraordinary journey. It is not for the faint of heart. You are correct there. Marlon, when you aren't working, when you're not building this beautiful thing that you're building, tell me what you're doing. What's fun for Marlon?
All right. So I do go to F45. I love F45. It's hit, right? So fitness, play video games. I try to read, hang out with the family. I like to travel. But on most days, if I'm not working, I'm probably just like vegging out on the couch watching TV with my wife or something, or the kids.
Nice. Is there a show? Are you binging any shows right now?
Well, we just finished House of Dragons. That was a lot better than I thought it was. Lord of the Rings was good too. I like the nerdy fantasy type stuff, and surprisingly, Ashley suffers through them with me.
Way to go, Ashley! Look at that. Haters gonna hate. Use it to motivate. Look at that, Taz. Exactly. Of course, our resident food service power plant poet finds a way to create a rhyme there. I love it. That's so great. Okay, in the last 5 years, Marlon, for you, is there been a habit, a new belief, a new behavior that you've taken on that's really changed your experience? It's been really impactful for you in your journey?
For me, it was just family. I would probably say, so I started the company 3 years ago. Well, the first company 3 years ago. Before then, I just didn't value family like I should have. And once I did that and I changed my mindset and put family first, like God and then family and then everything else underneath it, that's when things really started to happen for me. And I feel like it happened overnight. Like it was the craziest thing. So yeah, I would say family first.
Good for you, man. I love that the immediate change that you experienced by just realigning what mattered most, or maybe honoring what always mattered most and just recognizing it.
Yeah, appreciating what I have here really helped me, really fueled me for things I was doing out there.
Speaking of appreciating, it's Thanksgiving month. This is my favorite month. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of all of them. I love the gratitude holidays. I love just finding ways to cultivate that skill. Talk about what's something you find yourself particularly grateful for right now.
So can it be someone?
Sure, yeah.
Melissa Mayer. So Melissa Mayer is my chief creative officer. And I'm extremely thankful for her. She has done so much in so little time with NxtGen. It's kind of really helped put us on the map. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but we are now partnered with Informa. So we work with Nation's Restaurant News, Create, Food Management Magazine, those sorts of things, and other divisions outside of the restaurant and food group within Informa. And Melissa's knocked out like 3 digizines for the market research department. We just launched the Create digizine this week from the Create conference that we were at in September, where we did a bunch of filming and publication work for interviews. And she knocked out an issue of Served, which is our national publication. This is all within maybe like 4 weeks. And it's no easy task to put together a digital publication, which we call a digizine. And she's just been crushing it. So I'm extremely thankful for her and all she has done for the company.
Wow. Holy smokes. Way to go, Melissa.
Yeah. And so this is our first time making this public. We are actually getting ready to collaborate on Food Management Magazine. So that's going to be coming out quarterly, and NxtGen is going to be producing that for Informa, and Melissa is going to be the one that's taking lead on that too. So very thankful for her.
Way to go, dude. High five. Boom. I don't know if we can match up. Probably not, but boom. High five.
Right.
I can't get to your screen. I can't get over there. But there we go. That's amazing, Marlon. Like I said at the beginning, Melissa is a superhero. Stinking love it. The things that you're doing, the energy that you and your team and your family are generating, the new creative things, I think you're redefining what marketing looks like, what storytelling. I think marketing is just storytelling, finding a way what storytelling looks like. And it's so funny, by the way, that you said Harry Potter earlier, because when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this is a Harry Potter book is what this is, or newspaper. I think it was the newspapers in Harry Potter, right? They come alive.
Yeah, newspapers.
Gosh, holy cow. Likewise. That's somebody, Melissa Hooper. Oh, Jason Hartman says, I think I need Melissa as a mentor. I don't know if she contracts out, but Marlon can maybe connect you, Jason. I think I need to know her as well. Anisha Owens is in too. She says likewise. Everybody needs to know Melissa. This is awesome. Okay, we're going to minutes, but let's end with 2 things. Number 1, I'm happiest when. Finish this sentence. I am happiest when.
I'm happiest when I'm helping other people win.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm guessing to what you just said, but define success for us. Everybody defines success differently, what success means to them. Tell me how you define success. What does it look like?
Yeah. So for me, success is when I'm able to create a win-win-win situation for everybody. It's not enough that I'm successful or I win. It's not enough that you win, right? I want us all to win together because I'm huge on teamwork. Like as competitive as I am, and I'm really competitive, I love collaborating with others and creating these win-win-win situations, whether it's on an individual basis or if it's something that's professional based on business, whatever it is. I want us all to win together. I mean, I named the company NxtGen Network for a reason because I'm creating a network of winners essentially.
I love it, Marlon. A network of winners. That's amazing. And I love that embedded in the name is a sense of community, winners community. I mean, that's why we're the Food Service Power Plant Network too, that it's not done alone. We do it together. We're better when we're together. We learn more when we're together, and we have way more fun when we're doing it together. Gosh, I like how you're doing it. Who's this? Love me some NxtGen. Thanks for all you do in the industry. That's our buddy Jeremy West.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yo, Jeremy.
Jeremy's the man.
Food Alliance. Love it, love it, love it. Man, this has been fun. Marlon, I'm going to end with this. I like to end with something I call encouraging words. Because you've started something. I mean, you've been in the industry for a while. So it's not like you're new to the industry, but you started this thing. It's doing some pretty incredible things. You're inspiring so many. And I want you to know that the difference you want to make, help other people win, you're already doing it. So a couple encouraging words from some of your industry friends who I happen to find one way or another. We're going to start actually with this guy right here, Mr. Jeremy West. Marlon Gordon has been such an amazing force for good in child nutrition. His eye for innovation, his gift of storytelling, have all led him to being a disruptor in our industry, bringing the needed positive stories, marketing strategies, and leadership development to our space. Well, I've not known Marlon that long. I found him to have a generous heart, a great sense of humor, a good bit of curiosity, and a heart for serving others. Marlon is just a good guy who always lifts others up when they're in his presence, whether virtually or in person. I'm glad God put him in my pathway. Thank you, Marlon, for being who you are and a shining light to your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Jeremy.
Wow. Thanks, Jeremy.
Right?
That means a lot. Jeremy, he's a real cool dude, man. And he's so smart, and was happy to have him, in my life, because I think there's a lot of good, a lot of neat things that we can do together to help child nutrition and Urban School Food Alliance.
I believe you both are. Who's this? This is someone, hold on real quick. Oh, this is our friend Claudia. We're always better when you're together. Remove the masks and just be there for each other. Help each other grow, and your growth will be exponential. Claudia, really well said. Truth, preach. Well deserved, my friend. That's our buddy Jeremy. Jeremy, thanks for taking the time to write just amazing words about your buddy Marlon. Next, our friend Shannon Solomon shared a couple words. Marlon and I have gotten to know each other fairly well over the last 2 years. Marlon is one of the most entrepreneurial, mindful people I know. He is a trailblazer, an innovator, a disruptor. Look how that word keeps coming up. I love it. The word that you use, right? A disruptor for change and progression. Marlon is courageous, and he's dedicated to working hard for his family, for his friends, and his community. He's a connector and a lover of people, ideas, and most importantly, God. He is humble, and he's driven to continue to pursue a life full of purpose, influence, and value. In conclusion, Marlon is very intelligent. He's creative. He's dedicated to his people, projects, purpose, and he shares his success and his platform with those who sometimes are not as brave as he is to do it for themselves. He's a lighthouse in this world, and all those that are fortunate enough to work with him and call him a friend are blessed.
Thank you, Shannon. Shannon has grown to be she's like my sister from another mister, right? And I love it. Like, we have this weird connection where if either one of us is going through something, or that's not something, but there's a challenge or whatever, we'll just happen to call or text each other and encourage each other by happenstance during these situations. And she is someone that I've just been blessed to have in my life. And if it weren't for Shannon, Jason, I might not even know you. So Shannon connected me with you, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah, me too. Shannon, thanks for being who you are. I feel like light just begins to describe who you are to so many, Shannon. Um, and you're right. I think she did connect us. I love it. I love it. Okay. Lastly, I love when you mention someone and we happen to have found them for some encouraging words. Amanda Venezia. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Venenzia. There's like an invisible N in her last name.
Got it. Venenzia. Amanda. Okay. Here's Amanda's words. Marlon Gordon is a visionary of creative possibility. Oh, man, beautiful words, Amanda. He does not see limits, and he's always looking to the future and how he will help shape its definition. When you have a big idea that you truly think is crazy, impossible, or too big for the world of today, Marlon is the one you call who will listen to whatever wacky idea you've concocted. No matter what you are proposing, he will undoubtedly say, I know someone you should meet. He's a connector of people. Throughout his career, he's established genuine and thoughtful relationships with the folks he's met, from the formality of a boardroom to the casual hello of an elevator and every space in between. He genuinely cares about people, and he thrives on the passions of others, sharing in each person's vision and valuing each relationship uniquely. Marlon is the heart of all on the line for the future of his company, and he truly believes in each of the people who he's assembled onto his team. There is nothing more important than his people, their feelings of value, and the joy in the work that they do. However, he will always laugh at a your mother joke, and he never passes up on a dance party. I love that. His magnetic personality and his kind smile make him the kind of guy he loves a challenge, and he'll do anything to win a bet. Please send him a connection on LinkedIn because he's constantly trying to beat my numbers.
Yeah, that's a lie. I've smoked her numbers.
Seriously, though, he is someone you need to know and who will be just as invested in knowing you. Amanda, beautiful words.
So, going by the way that was so beautifully written, you can tell that Amanda is really the brains of the company. I'm the heart and she's the brain, right? And it's funny because people think that Amanda and I have known each other for like 15, 20 years, but I met her, 3.5 years ago or so? Wow. And since then, she's turned into like almost like that annoying little sister I never really wanted, but I always did want at the same time. Yeah. She's just so incredibly brilliant. And when I take these crazy, stupid ideas, and I'm like, hey, this is what my friend is saying, or this customer or this partner is saying, this is what I want to do. I can't figure out how to get from A to Z. She's like, oh, let me whiteboard that. If you whiteboards it out, and I have a solution. So this company, her and I, like, we're so polar opposite, but we always meet in the middle, which is where we're supposed to be. And I'm just very blessed to have her in my life as that annoying little sister / business partner that I never really wanted, but always needed.
Kudos to you for recognizing that we need people who think differently than we do in order to move forward. And kudos to Amanda for having what she called a crazy, impossible idea. And some ideas she concocted and coming to you to say, you might be the guy to help make it happen. So I love how you two came together. I think it's beautiful. Marlon, listen, brother, you, I don't know, you're someone who some people you hear and you hear what they say and you recall it in your mind. And some people I think you feel their energy, you feel their passion, you feel their sincerity, and you're someone who I think our industry feels. And so thanks for bringing what you do, you and your entire team of creative folks and people who find ways to get from A to Z, and all you're doing to the industry, because I really do believe you are changing the way we see telling these stories, the industry stories, and advertising and all the things you're doing. I think you're setting a new standard. So thanks all to dream big and teach all the rest of us who are wanting to learn as well.
Well, it's a pleasure. And like, my team is amazing, but I couldn't do it without the industry themselves, because when I get these ideas, like, you can ask Amanda, like, I'm always texting my friends, calling my friends before she even wants me to start talking about what I'm planning. because I need your feedback. Like, I need you to tell me if my idea is good, if it's not, how it can be better, those sorts of things. So if it weren't for industry being so willing to guide me so I can serve them, I mean, I wouldn't be here. So I'm thankful for that.
I love it, man. Listen, to everyone watching, a couple things. Go find Marlon on LinkedIn, connect with them, and go find Amanda, because we want her numbers to go up.
No, forget Amanda.
Last name is Venezia. We got her back too. We want you both to win. We want you both to win. Listen, thanks for joining us, Foodservice Power Play Network. You gave us 45 minutes of a Monday night. We couldn't be more grateful to get to tell stories and laugh and play and feel encouraged and all the wonderful things this community creates for people. Listen, a couple of things. If you, here's the takeaway that I wrote down. Marlon said something. There's a lot of takeaways, but you said, I live in the future so people can thrive in the present. And I thought, I mean, I'm going to need to chew on that for a few days. But it's this idea of, I'm thinking about what's next, what's tomorrow, what does the future look like, so we can create it now and live fully now in this idea of creativity. And how do we build something today that doesn't exist yet? And I thought those were beautiful words. And for anyone, any entrepreneur, for anyone in an organization, we're all looking to solve our customer challenges. We're all looking for ways to add new value. And that's oftentimes in things that haven't been accomplished yet. I think it's brilliant, authentic, amazing. Men, boom. Thank you, Marlon and Jason. Thanks for joining us. And listen, to our community watching, we all go through times in life, sometimes where we have incredible energy to create and dream, and we feel like we have a community that supports us. And there's times in life where we might not be experiencing that. Some of Marlon's words and his experience might feel unfamiliar to you. If it feels unfamiliar right now, just know that it's okay. You got this. We all start somewhere, realizing really the kind of people we want to surround ourselves with, learning how to tap into that creativity, learning how to dream a little bit in the future and add new kinds of vision and ask big questions. So if you're not there right now, it's okay. The fact that you might be asking this question, or maybe Marlon's story has generated a little moving inside of you, take that as note and pay attention. Listen, cultivate it a little bit. If you need to reach out, you can reach out to either one of us. I'm putting us both on there. You can reach out on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or in the Power Plant Network, wherever you found us. And you're welcome to ask any questions. If we can connect you with anyone we know who might be able to help you in your journey, we are happy to. Your job right now is to keep moving, keep pursuing, keep following that joy, keep following that curiosity, and keep moving. Because as you continue to foster it like a muscle, as you continue to work it out, you're going to continue to find it. I love this. Amazing live cast. So many notes to act on. Thank you, Marlon and Jason. Jason Hartman. Heck yes, brother. Zena Dater. Thank you for a great evening. Zena, high five. Boom. I'm glad you were here. Foodservice Power Plant Network. We will see you next week. I hope it's an awesome week, friends. Marlon, thanks again, my friend.
Thank you. See ya.
Be well, everybody.